silence for some of our past trustees, Warren Bo Pritchard, who passed recently, and also trustee Ben Dorenzo. Thank you. I'm going to go a little out of order tonight. Darren, our zoning official, Mr. Crivelli, I'd like to say a few words on behalf of the two trustees that have recently passed, please.
Yeah, for us up here, I don't think any of us knew Ben Dorenzo. When I saw the obituary, I think his age was 94, but when I first started working for the township about 30 years ago, the name was prominent among the veteran employees back then. But Ben served 2 terms. It was in the 1970s, and looking at the zoning records, because trustees are involved with a lot of stuff that zoning does. Probably the things that you would know that Ben Dorenzo was part of approving. One was the Woodland Trace subdivision. This is actually where I spent quite a few years. We moved in to the Birch Trace in that subdivision in 1973, but Ben Dorenzo was a trustee who was part of the board that approved this zone change to allow single-family dwellings in Woodland Trace. So that was one project that Ben Dorenzo was involved in. Another one was Westchester Drive. Westchester became zoned for apartments, and then more towards Mahoning, the northern end of it, Ben Dorenzo was part of the board of trustees that approved both Business B1 and Business B2 to allow for office buildings and retail. So those are about the only 2 things I know about Ben. I never met him, but one of the hardest things to do is run for office, put your name out there, and Ben Dorenzo did that, and he got elected and he got himself reelected. Bo Pritchard served, I think he took office in 1993. And at the time, there was a number of candidates running, including 2 long-term incumbents. One of my buddies was running, and we were actually running against Bo. And Bo was an attorney. And for those who knew, were politically astute, Bo was a Republican in Austintown in the 80s and 90s. There weren't a heck of a lot of those, but anyways, in that campaign, I was helping my buddy, who was a little short guy, and his name was David Ditzler. And the voters voted, and 2 incumbents, long-term incumbents, were voted out, and Bo came in first. David came in second, and I've been telling Dave for the last 30 years, hey, Pritchard beat you. Lucky for Dave, he was in a cycle to elect too, but back then, the problem in Austintown was flooding. And Bo and Dave, Mike Bertolacki, the former administrator, Mike Dockery, put together a storm alleviation program, and they acquired a lot of grant money, probably about $35 million in grants. And they alleviated a lot of flooding. We've got a lot of retention ponds now that just didn't exist, but like I said, Bo was a Republican in Austintown. And Austintown back then didn't have, well, the countryside I think started, but it wasn't connected. I don't believe we had Chapel Valley. Cider Mill may have been connected, but it was a completely different township. And for a guy to run as in a non-partisan race, but still be known by everybody as a Republican, get elected and come in first in, General Motors, Uniontown, Democratic Austintown, I thought that was a heck of an accomplishment. And one of the things Bo said, he kept his word. He said, I'm only going to run one time. I'm going to do 1 term. If I can't help with the problems, then I don't deserve to come back. And Bo did. He ran 1 term, and I had the pleasure of working for him for about 3 of those years. And he did not run. He was eventually replaced by Jeff Grote. And I'm not sure, I left the township, and I'm not sure how Bo came back, but Bo hired me, and then when I came back in 2008, Bo hired me again. So I kind of like the guy, he hired me twice. But him and Dave were really on the forefront of alleviating the flooding, and we're fortunate. I've been back 16 years. I don't think we've really had a flooding situation similar to what they had in the 70s and 80s. So, but I think Bo's tenure as a trustee, he's going to be known for flood alleviation. And he was a good guy. And I enjoyed working for him, and, you know, God bless him, and, you know, I wish him, my condolences to his family. Same thing with Ben Lorenzo. It's really hard to run for office, to put your name out there and have people vote for you. But I think harder than running for office is when you win being a trustee. That's even harder. It's not an easy job. You don't make anybody happy. But Bo did a good job, and he was a good guy. He hired me twice, and I greatly appreciate that from my own personal standpoint. So that's all I have to say about Bo.
Thank you, Darren.
I call roll.
Please.
Mr. Santos?
Here.
Mr. Shepherd?
Here.
Mrs. Devers? Here.
So we'll start with our introduction. To my left, we have our fiscal officer, Laura Wolf. And to the right there, we have our township administrator, Mark Diabolito. The guy in between Mark and our zoning inspector, Darren Gravelli, is the successor of Darren's position, I think, is Don, pronounce your last name, always Mulchin, yeah. So Don is training underneath Darren to replace Darren sometime this summer. He's gonna retire, I don't know, how many years, 30 something, yeah, 30 years. And then we have Chief Cavalier. We have, I love this guy, Chief David Schertzer. And then these are fire chief. And then we have our Parks Department, Todd Schaefer. And the Senior Center, Jim Henshaw. To my left, Trustee Monica Devers. And to my right, Trustee Robert Santos. I'm your chairman, Trustee Bruce Evans. Thank you all for attending tonight. We got some good stuff happening here. It's always exciting. It feels so good to do good. We have accomplishments like this. The AMS trip, you guys went all 7th or 8th graders or all 8th graders? 7th and 8th mixed. Oh, nice. So what happened? Did you guys win the state championship? Is this the first time?
Yeah.
When was the last time? Did we have a last time, Coach?
No.
No?
It's only the second year competition team, so.
Impressive. Impressive. Well, congratulations to all of you. What we're going to do is we're going to present the team and coaches with a proclamation from Austintown Township. And then after that, you guys are more than welcome to take some photos. Family, feel free to come up. We're going to come down there and pass these out to you, Coach. Would you please help us with the names, and we'll move through this rather quickly. When it's complete, if you guys want to leave, because I know this probably really excites all of you, and you want to stick around and hear what we have to say. But you and your families and coaches are more than welcome to leave, and then we'll get on with business. Okay? We'll come down. So, Coach Macy Kittleberger.
Oh, that's.
It's for you. Can we leave out the coach? Come on, I got kids. I know all about this stuff. Harper Busico.
She's sick today,
Sick.
so I will also take her. Yeah.
And then
Michelina Nigro.
Elena, come on up.
You can clap hands. I see you.
Come on, you gotta stay up here once you get your award. Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to take pictures probably, right? And then,
London Whitway.
Taylor Crawford. Kendra Lake. And Clara? Take over for it. Really?
Yeah, the Marine Jarhead from New England cities names. By Sophia. Hadley. Michaela Fitch. Brooke Wheeler. Melina. Isabel.
All right, we're gonna come back in. Before we get started, Rudy Patterson from the Austintown Community Events. I believe you have something
Yes.
you'd like to talk about moving forward.
You go that way. Oh, you're going the same way? Okay. Come on, Libby. Come this way, baby.
Sure. Robert, while she's coming up, would you like to enlighten us on?
As you guys know, last August we had a Austintown Community Family Fun Day, which we're going to reword the terminology on that. During that, we had a contest. We had a Mr. Little, Mr. and Miss Austintown, and we had the two winners right here. We have Miss Austintown and Mr. Austintown, and I guess
On
Rudy.
behalf of Austintown Community Events, they spent Martin Luther King Day making Valentines for all of you. So, Cammie's gonna start from this side, and Logan, you're gonna start from over that way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Okay. Yes. Did everybody get there?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, informal. Timothy, Connor's outside.
Love it.
Thank you, Rudy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know that Mr. Austintown was my son. No, it was not rigged. All right. Oh, Tim. Never mind. Connor's right there. Hey, everyone knows I have a stepson. No one's ever seen him. He's real. He's right there. That's Connor Hood. So.
Okay. So we're gonna step into public comments, but let me just remind people.
Park right there.
Big welcome. Sorry. My fault.
No, you're good. You lost the kid. They left it out. So we do public comments in the beginning, and the reason why we changed that over a year ago was because of, we appreciate and value your opinions. And sometimes those opinions may or may not sway one of us, if not all of us, to change our minds before we actually vote on an issue. And I thought that was a great idea. Now, I know that a lot of townships allow public comments. We choose to. And you have 3 minutes to come up and speak, and no more than 3 minutes. And we'll hold it until 3 minutes. We need to move on with business. So at this time, and let me mention one more thing, because I noticed this last month as my first time as chairman, that sometimes people in the audience tend to ask a question to maybe, particularly normally Darren, zoning, or maybe Mr. Diapolito. So they're not going to answer any of your questions. Your time for comments is now. You're more than welcome to address this after the meeting. We'd be glad, any of us would be glad to answer any of your questions. So at this time, for public comments, would anybody like to step forward and speak?
Is this on camera?
It is.
Okay, very good. I'd like to come up.
Sure, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
I'll wait till you get there.
Believe it or not, it's been almost 2 years on the roundabout.
Maybe your name and address.
Oh,
Name and
Lewis Dairy, 5349 South Saratoga. Believe it or not, it's been almost 2 years, or August will be the first announcement for the roundabout. So I'm here today to present, I'm Joe Asteri, by the way. I am the committee leader for the Austintown Resident Committee. And again, I'm here tonight to present a final update on ODOT's proposed roundabout at 46 and New Road. Our committee has worked with ODOT for 2 years to present alternatives for traffic safety along the 46 corridor. Traffic safety is a priority for Austintown residents and the 200+ residents in the Lexington Estates exiting onto 46 each day, confronting 18,000 cars with one exit and no red light. Our committee's work was effective in getting 10 alternatives posted to ODOT's website. The website opens with an image of the 46 New Road intersection where ODOT proposes the roundabout. Information tabs were then provided for existing conditions, purpose and needs, proposed improvements, and the stakeholders' feedback. Our committee's alternatives are posted under the feedback tab. As committee leader, ODOT posted our comments first and left the area below it for residents to post their comments. ODOT is in the planning stage, which will end shortly, and ODOT's next step is a virtual open house with a detailed design to be presented this summer. Other comments posted to ODOT's website will have a big impact on the final outcome. Our committee exchanged countless emails with ODOT, leading us to trust that these alternatives are seriously being considered. We believe it will have a bigger impact if more residents voice their concerns. This is the last opportunity for residents to ask ODOT to consider making modifications to 46 instead of constructing a $6.2 million roundabout. Our committee has finished its work and provided copies to the zoning office. And in 2 years, we dispersed 2,000 flyers to residents, sent a petition with 1,600 signatures opposing the roundabout. We forwarded countless emails, US letters by mail, and digital media PowerPoints to ODOT, demonstrating how our alternatives would be more advantageous to them than a roundabout. In conclusion, we are asking all residents to please post your comments to ODOT and inspire them to consider the committee's alternatives so this project ends successfully for the benefit of Austintown. Thank you. Any questions? Okay,
Thanks, Joe.
you're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too. Anybody else? Mr. Munis?
My name is Mike Budis. I live at 2604 Barrington Court here in Austintown. I want to follow up a little bit on what Joe said. We need community response in the state of Ohio to try and either stop or modify this roundabout. It's going to cause a significant impact to Austintown. We only have 3 east-west roadways in Austintown. And when that thing starts under construction, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare for our schools, trying to get back and forth. And there is no justification for this. If you look at a study the state of Ohio released for the last 5-year period, there's very few accidents. I think there was 45 minor accidents there. And I think there might have been 1 death. But that just does not justify what it's going to do to this township. I hope people take a hard look about that and think about contacting the state. Go to their website. It's been published enough times, but it's publicinput.com /J8622. And it'll give you the opportunity to make your comments and see, and hopefully get them to sway that, because I personally believe the state just decided we wanted to do so many roundabouts, and we're going to put one here, we're going to put one here, we're going to put one here. It doesn't make any difference why. So I hope a lot of people in Austintown take the advantage to contact the state about this. Hopefully get it changed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Trelecky, 5600 Sagamore Crossing. I have 3 comments now that you're talking about the roundabout. I followed up with the same thing as you talked about when I was in the Vindicator. You get on the website, you tell them everything why you shouldn't do it. It don't matter because you don't get any response back. I called that Kathleen, that administrator gave me the business card, called her 3 times, she never responded. So it looks like DeWine wants to turn around. Second issue, Austintown again. Why does Austintown have to be in the news again? One time we were in the news because we had a criminal who was a trustee. Now we're in the news again because we need money or begging for money for the police department. We ought to be thankful that we have such a great Laura here that takes care of our money, because there's other trustees, departments that don't have any money. You said if the levy didn't pass, one of you, and I'm not going to bring out a name, it was almost like a doom and gloom situation, that none of you would be safe. So I have to bring up one thing, and I'm bringing it up early, because next month I may not be here, because I got an issue to deal with. This is the last month for the chief. I want to congratulate, wish him the very best in his future as his retirement. He talked me right into putting a sign in my yard, even though I told him it wasn't for the levy, but he's been a great chief, and I think we all ought to say congratulations to him, because I'm going to miss next month, probably more than likely. And you know what I told you.
I hope you're wrong, Mr. Trelecky, I hope you're wrong.
Well, I'll miss it, but hopefully I still wake up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll miss him.
Yeah.
As long as I wake up. that's
Right.
all.
Yes, sir.
But I wish you well, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Bob Cooper, 1610 Idaho. I'm the trustee and treasurer for the Austintown Disabled American Veterans. And real quick, I just want to say, we want to thank all you guys for everything you've done to help us get our building done. And thank you, it's been out of hand. We got some gifts we want to give you guys. Go ahead and read your names.
In case you don't know, we are the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 2, Youngstown, Ohio. We have a certificate of appreciation to present to Austintown Trustee Monica Devers in honor of your dedication in assisting the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 2, presented this 3rd day of February 2025. We thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Disabled American Veterans Chapter 2, presenting a certificate of appreciation to Austintown Trustee Bruce Shepis in honor of your dedication in assisting the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 2, presented this 3rd day of February 2025. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure. Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate you coming down there on your grand opening. It's a good time.
Say the last one for last because he's also a member of our organization. So the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 2, Youngstown, Ohio, certificate of appreciation to Trustee Robert Santos in honor of your dedication in assisting the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 2, presented this 3rd day of February 2025. Thank you.
We have events to give one of these.
Thank you.
And we did forget the police department. We got 3 police flags we'd like to donate to the police department. Thank you very much.
Mr. Diapolito, Administrator's report, please.
Sure, if I may, I'll take the road and the administrators report together. January is a busy time here at the township. This January has been exceptionally busy. This January we saw snow pack and below average temperatures. That took the toll on the roads, potholes we're seeing, and our snow and ice control fleet. We had several breakdowns while working to modernize the fleet. Unfortunately, we still have many vehicles that predate airbags. Maintenance and road did an excellent job working through very difficult conditions. At times, we had back-to-back early morning, late night snows, and they were out there. So for that, thank you to our road department, thank you to our mechanics. They were fixing trucks, and as one left, the next one was going out, just product of bad weather and old vehicles. To date, we've deployed 1,350 tons of salt and 100 tons of aggregate, costing the township more than $68,000 in material alone. So it's been a rough January. But please be patient. We had 4 patch crews out today. They threw about 6 tons of cold patch today. They're working their way across the township. I am well aware that you know, the way below average temperatures took a significant toll on the roads. And they're working to correct that. Also in January, we accepted resumes for our next police chief. Well, whomever it's going to be is going to have some big shoes to fill. You were right. Chief Gedler's been an excellent chief for several years. Despite having to reschedule the interviews several times due to urgent matters, the first interviews will go forward at the end of this week. At that point, I will send people that survived the first round, most likely all the candidates, to the trustees, barring any notable issues. After that, Lori and I have spent some time working on the budget, and we've sat with the department heads and reviewed the budget and where we are for the upcoming year. Lori is on track to submit the budget on time for approval by the trustees at the end of March. Based on the work we've done to date, we expect that the police will be somewhere between $700 to $1.1 million into the general fund. $700,000 to $1.1 million into the general fund. Parks will be about $300,000 to $400,000 into the general fund, and the general fund will spend more than it's bringing in this year. What that means is we're going to have to be making adjustments in parks, police, and the general fund to ensure viability for continued years. Those are either new revenues or reductions in cost. So we're going to work first through reductions in cost and see where that gets us. Through the budgeting process with the trustees, we identified that our communications department was not receiving a fair cost allocation from the agencies for which it provides dispatching services, both the ABM, the Austintown Board and Mahoney County Joint Communications District, and primarily outside agencies that have individually contracted with us to provide their dispatching services. With that, I've been had several meetings and meeting with those communities, working to raise their cost allocations and their agreements to bring more revenues to our communications department and reduce the burden on our police and fire department. Finally, switching back to road for a second, some good news. Spring is on its way. We will be bidding our road improvement project. It'll be advertised February 10th, and the bids will be open March 3rd. With that, we are paving over 6.5 miles of road right now. That is anticipated if we get advantageous bids. We might be able to stretch our monies a bit further. That's almost double our historical average. That's thanks to the 0.25% sales tax and the Mahoney County Commissioners' support. For that, we're very thankful to the Mahoney County Commissioners. Additionally, in regards to the collective bargaining agreements that are in negotiations right now, I will be negotiating with Road on February 5th, Parks on February 12th, and Clerical on February 11th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. I know you don't want me to skip you, but we're going to the police department, Chief Cavalier.
I just want to bring up Captain Call's retiring at the end of March. Talking with us for 30 years. Some of you worked with him here, and as you know, he's very intelligent. He knows the laws upside down. He was, when we went to the body cameras, he took that project on, put roll over our guys. It's as easy as it seems to push a button on the body camera. It's not. There's a lot of training in that for what officers have to know and do with it. And a lot of software, hardware upgrades and stuff, and he took that on. He also is a defensive tactics instructor for our department for several years, taught our officers defensive tactics, mace, baton, the taser, and those weapons or those tools on the officers' belts. You have to be trained to use them, and if you're not, we open ourselves up for a lawsuit. So he trained us well. He always brought us up to date with up-to-date laws and changes in the laws, and that when I first came in there, our policy procedures manual was outdated 15, 20 years. Tom sat in with us many meetings. It took us 3 years to rewrite our policy procedures manuals. He knows them inside and out. I just call him instead of me looking through all the things. I just call him and he knows right away what we're looking for. That he's helped the prosecutor's office on several things. East Cleveland PD has reached out to us for our policies and procedures. Akron, the Sheriff's Department up there, has reached out to us, and several of the neighboring agencies in here have reached out to us for policy procedures that Tom has written for us. He also, years ago, the state came up with Ohio Collaborative, where officers have to have 24 hours of in-service training, and you have to have that. He took control of that, made sure officers had the training documented with the state of Ohio, and was one hell of a police officer, I guess. I want to congratulate him.
So we need a motion. Motion to accept the retirement of Police Department Captain Tom Collins effective March 31st, 2025, pursuant to his email of January 30th, 2025. Additionally, liquidation of leave balances shall be paid pursuant to the policies and procedures set forth in the FOP CBA.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Chief Schertzer, Fire Department.
I would just ask the board to accept the motion to accept the resignation of our part-time probationary firefighter Matthew Misko effective 1/31/2025.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
And then I would just like to give a little recap of January for the fire department numbers-wise. We had 479 calls in the month of January for service. 7 of those were fires, 299 were rescue or emergency medical services, 25 hazardous conditions that did not include fire, 80 service calls, 40 good intent calls, 26 false alarms, and a couple special incidents that were just minor. So it was 479 calls for January. Yeah, busy month. So in comparison to 2024, we had 495 in 2024, so we're just a few under per month. But busy.
It's amazing. Thank you.
Yep. That's all I got.
Zoning, Mr. Crivelli.
I would ask the board to approve the nuisance resolution under Revised Code 505.57 for a property on Westgate Boulevard, and we may put a property on Willow Crest and a property on Northwest on that also.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Tom.
That's all we have.
Mr. Schaefer, Parks Department.
We finished up our Christmas tree collection program on the 31st. That was in partnership with ODNR and the Green Team. This year we collected about 2 to 250 Christmas trees that'll go into area lakes and ponds for fish habitat. So I'd like to thank everybody that participated in that program. That's all I have.
Is that normal, 250? Seems like a lot.
No, we've had upwards of 400 or 500. I think more people are going with the artificial trees anymore, and so I've watched our numbers decline over the last several years.
All right, thank you. Mr. Henshaw, Senior Center?
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank the Parks Department. They're our muscle men. Whenever we have something that's heavy and has to be moved or something like that, we can always count on them to come over and do the job for us. And they're very efficient, very professional about it. Also, tomorrow we are starting our first foreign language class. We're going to start a Spanish class starting tomorrow. And I had a man approach me who is also willing to volunteer to teach a class in Arabic and French. So we might be taking a polyglot theater center at this point. And that's about it.
Thank you. Mrs. Wolf, Ms. Wolf?
Working on closing out the year, almost done with that. Again, Mark and I got together, so we have preliminary numbers for the budget, and we're gonna dig into that just a little bit more and make sure everything's ready to go, come March. And then we'll be doing our permanent appropriations and be up and running. Not that we're not up and running, but we're in temporary mode right now.
Okay. So we have a motion to accept January reports submitted to the board for review, A through D. And one and two, and E as well.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
And then we have a motion to accept the 2024 road inventory. We have to do each one of these individually. I don't know.
You just do a motion to approve 2 through 6.
Okay.
As part of the agenda.
Sure.
Yep.
I'll do motion two, kind of a motion to approve 2 through 6 as part of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
New business. A motion is needed to appoint one trustee to the ABC District Committee. Assuming that's gonna be, Sure, right? And then, also,
That's what I'm on right now.
Yeah.
That's not sure.
it's on the agenda. Are you doing it again?
Well, so if I may add, I can't be talking, sorry. If I may add to that, ours, if we appoint anyone, it can be anyone, it doesn't have to be elected official.
Okay.
I got no problem passing the torch on anybody. However, I would highly recommend not doing it at the time because the current chair, Jason Marie, he is in the process of taking care of some personal stuff. So right now, it's just Keith from Canfield and me. So if we want to pass the torch, I'd probably do some sort of transition or just assign me for the remainder of the year and then reconsider it again. But Jason is pretty much like the expert. He's Morgan's representative, Keith is Canfield's, and I'm Austintown's. I have no problem offering it to anyone who wants to do it, but I would highly recommend, since Jason's kind of,
Should we wait here, Jason?
You have to
Just like me.
appoint somebody.
and then if someone else is interested, I have no problem keeping them informed, let them know when the meetings are, and come on.
That's fine. I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Santos trustee to the ABC District Committee. Again, for the remainder of the year.
Sure. Until you
Until we, sure.
guys don't like me anymore, it's fine.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Can I second that?
I did. First, right? I have to, right? I did.
You second or you?
I so moved.
Okay, because he moved in first, but that's okay. Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Do I have to say yes?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Abstain?
And then I'll make a motion to authorize Mahoney County Prosecutor's Office to commence litigation against Custom Utilicom Incorporated, AT&T, and other involved parties as identified by the Mahoney County Prosecutor's Office concerning the storm pipe damage done on or around March 1st, 2023, at the northeast corner of 2 township roads, South Rosemont and Potomac Drive. Tom, am I right? Was that right? See? Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes. And then we got remarks from the board members. Mrs. Devers, Trustee Devers, please.
I don't have much. I just wanted to make everybody aware that it's National Wear Red Day, February 7th. This is a Go Red to help save more women's lives. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in women, and it's also American Heart Month. I also would like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, and remember to tell everyone that you love them because today is a gift.
Thank you. Trustee Santos?
I don't have much except February 9th, our title is on the line for Best Chili. The Horseman Teamsters are having their chili cook-off. Last year we were there and I made the chili. I'll take the credit for that one, sorry, but we won. So we have it again on the 9th, if anyone's interested in showing up. The Horseman Teamsters, they give all the funds to the Ronald McDonald nonprofit, help out all the kids. So I suggest you guys come down and try some chili. It's a good time, good group of people. Hopefully we can bring the trophy back. So we're happy. I gotta get the address, but it's in Austintown, honestly. I gotta get the address. It's like
February 9th, right?
February 9th.
Who's sponsoring that?
What's that?
Who's sponsoring?
Your Teamsters. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's not. It's at the hall, by your hall. Gotcha. They're nice things, but sure.
Sure, as usual, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today, and for those of you that spoke, appreciate you, and the DAV, give them utmost respect for all of you, and I'll continue to help. We, the board, will continue to help as we always have, and we'll continue. We appreciate what you guys do, not only as your committee, DAV, be involved in the community, but as veterans as well. Thank all of you for your service as well. In addition to that, I'd like to say that we were fortunate enough to just come back from Columbus on Friday. We were down there with the Ohio Township Association, and that's where pretty much all the trustees from across the state, fiscal officers as well, zoning, I've seen some police chiefs, all kinds of officials down there, and it's very informing. I found it to be very educational. They offer certain classes, such as the cannabis class, which I think is relevant to Austintown now. And Dom came down, he was fortunate enough to attend, and I know he attended several zoning classes, so he's more up to date than what Darren is. And then,
Everybody is.
So I'm grateful to attend that. I'm glad I had my colleagues as well that attended with me. It was very educational, to say the least. That's all I got. Okay. Motion to recess to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers? Yes.
Thank you.